Hello, welcome to the MathTablet. This is a series of lessons on coordinate geometry. In this first session, we're going to have a look at the distance between 2 points on the Cartesian plane. 2 points. So let's have a look at how this is done. The distance between 2 points on the Cartesian plane is given by this formula. x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So let's see how that works. Let's say we've got 2 points, say -5 and 6 as my first point, and the second point is going to be 1, 2. So this is the first point here, so we'll call that x1, y1 as in x coordinate of the first point, y coordinate of the first point, and we'll call this one x2, y2, second coordinate there. Okay, so the distance is going to be equal to, let's put in all of those values. Instead of x2 I now have 1. Instead of x1 I now have -5. Now watch out here, because the formula is x2 minus x1, so it's going to be 1 minus -5, so it ends up being 1 plus 5 all squared. Then y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is 6, all squared. So let's do the calculation now. Alright, so that's going to be the square root of 1 plus 5 is 6, all squared will give me 36. And then 2 minus 6 is going to be -4. -4 all squared is 16. So the distance is going to be the square root of 52. Now let's have a look at this distance formula again. Just wanted to show you where it comes about. It's one thing using it, but it's another just seeing where it comes from. Suppose I have just the Cartesian plane there, and I've got the coordinates of the first point here, so we'll call that 1, x1, y1. Now to graph it, that would mean that this value is x1 and this value is y1. Then I've got, say, another point over here, so we'll call that one x2, y2, which means that this value must be x2 and this value must be y2. So we'll just finish up on that Cartesian plane. So what we want to do basically is to find the distance between those 2 points. Now, to find that distance between those 2 points, we form a right triangle like so. And then start thinking, right triangle, we can use Pythagoras' formula here. Pythagorean theorem states that for any right triangle, the hypotenuse, which we tend to call C, is connected to the other two sides by this formula. Right? Which then means that if you wanted the value of C, it's going to be the square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay, so that is the basis of this formula here, the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, now back to our diagram now. So what I want to do is to get this distance here. Because of our coordinates, that's going to be x2 minus x1 to get that distance. And similarly, this distance here would have to be that total length, which is y2, minus this length here, which is y1. So it's going to be y2 minus y1 on that side of the triangle. According to the Pythagorean theorem then, that distance that I want between the 2 points will be given by d squared equals x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So then if I want the distance itself, it's going to be the square root of that whole thing and so you have this as your standard formula. There you have a little proof of that. I hope you've enjoyed this session of the Math Tablet.